students, and welcome to this video about homeostasis. Today we're looking at control systems, in particular what control systems are in our body to help our organs work together to maintain a stable environment for our body. Now, just have a look at the picture that I've chosen for the background of this slide. It's a picture of an airport control tower. And I want you to have a think about the function of the control tower, in that it allows planes to land safely at the airport and take off, and it coordinates all the activities at the airport, so that if this control tower was not there, the airport certainly would not be able to function and would need to shut down. And so just have a think about that as we apply that to the human body. What is the control system in our body that helps look after all our organs and make sure that everything in our body's environment, like our temperature, for example, stays in a normal, stable, within a normal limit that allows us to keep living? All right, the what for today is to understand how the endocrine and nervous system controls body systems. You'll be successful if you can explain how the endocrine and nervous system control body systems, and this is because an understanding of biology is helpful for many jobs. Now, guys, I'm just going to say this just once, and that is that throughout these slides, I expect that you'll be pausing the video and copying down the information on the slides into your class notes so that you can refer to them when you need to. All right, so let's first look at how our body systems work together. Okay, let me just get my pointer so I can show you. All right, now we've got a human body over here, and it's made up of lots of different systems. Okay, we have the digestive system, which is a liver and a stomach and all our intestines. We've got our lungs and our heart, which is our cardiovascular system. We've got all our muscles and bones, part of our musculoskeletal system. And we've got our nervous system, so our brain and all our nerves and spinal cord. Okay, so all these systems work together to maintain a stable environment. And this means that things like the pH in our blood, so how much acid content in our blood is in a level that's within normal, that our body can cope with. If that pH changes, all our organs start to shut down and things do not work very well. And same with our temperature. So our body temperature, as we know, likes to be within a normal range, and if it gets too high, the doctors might measure that and know that we're sick. And same if we get too low, again, our body starts to shut down when it gets below a normal range. And same with our glucose levels. So let's have a look at this human body over here. So we've got our lungs breathing in oxygen. The oxygen moves into our bloodstream and carbon dioxide moves out as we breathe out. Our heart then pumps the blood around our body, where it might flow past some intestines that have just absorbed some nutrients from the hamburger that you just ate. Those carbohydrates and protein move into our bloodstream and then pump to some muscles that are working hard because we've been running around the yard, probably playing tiggy or basketball or something like that, or on a skateboard. And those muscle cells, while they're working to contract, they use up some of those nutrients and they release waste products that include carbon dioxide. All right, so the carbon dioxide then gets pumped around our body, back to our lungs, and the same process happens again. Now, this is all controlled, all these different organs working together is actually controlled by both the nervous system, and the endocrine system. All right, so let's look at our nervous system first of all. So our nervous system is made up of our brain and our spinal cord and all the nerves that come off our spinal cord. Now, our nervous system is made up of our central nervous system, so our brain, and our spinal cord. And then all the other nerves that come off the spinal cord are called the peripheral nervous system. And peripheral because they go out to our peripheries, so the edges of our body. So like the tips of our fingers and the toes are our periphery. Okay, so we've got nerves, and they they take a message from our brain down to the parts of our body in a very fast way. So if we think about we touch a hot plate on the stove by accident, it's burning our finger. Immediately we get a response from our brain that tells our muscles to move our hand so that we don't hurt ourselves. Now those nerves transmit the message, as I've said, very quickly and very locally. So the message is between our brain and our fingertips. It doesn't tell our other hand to move or our feet. So it's very localized. And it's very short acting. So once our hand is moved, our brain doesn't keep telling our hand to move. I guess we could think of it that way. Now, the message travels along in our nervous system, along nerves and between synapses. Now, synapses, let me just see if I can get a picture of a nerve up. Here we go. So here's a picture of a nerve, all right. Synapses are between, like connections between nerves, okay. So this nerve, when we get to a nerve ending here, there might be another nerve that sort of connects to it. So a synapse is kind of this connection between two nerves, and basically you get little chemicals called these neurotransmitters, which pass between one nerve to the next. All right, so that's our nervous system. So just to recap, our nervous system takes messages from our brain very quickly via electrical impulses, okay, through nerves. Now let's have a look at our other type of control system. Okay, so let's just have a look at how the endocrine system works. All right, so our endocrine system is made up of a lot of different glands in the body. So for example, there is the thymus gland, which controls our metabolism, our pancreas, which is important for controlling our blood glucose levels, and our adrenal glands, which are important in responding to stress, as well as our ovaries and testicles, which are our sex organs. Now, all these glands produce messages which are called hormones. Now, the hormones are like, you could think of them like little chemical compounds that are then carried in the bloodstream around to different organs where they work. Now, the message that is produced is quite slow. For example, let's just say that you are very stressed because your exams are getting very close. This makes your adrenal glands produce cortisol. All right. Now, cortisol works on your body to break down glucose and get energy ready so that your body's able to use it. And so the cortisol is released into the bloodstream, travels around your body. Now, it doesn't get there instantly. It might take a couple of hours or longer to get from the adrenal glands to your liver, to your fat cells and to your muscles, where it has the effect. Now, so the response, so the message is quite slow to get there, and the response can actually hang around for a little while, because you can imagine that the hormones, so for example cortisol, is circulating around the body. It might take a little while to get broken down, so it can have an effect over a couple of hours or a couple of days even. All right, so just to recap, the difference between the nervous system and the endocrine system. The endocrine system, the messenger is carried through the nerves, and it's electrical impulses that happen very quickly and have a very localized effect, whereas your endocrine system is from glands producing hormones, which are carried in your bloodstream, and that happens a lot slower and can have a lot longer acting response. Now, finally, so if just to recap, we looked at the two control systems. So we looked at our endocrine system, which was quite a slow messenger, and the messenger was hormones, which travel through the bloodstream, and compare that with the nervous system, where we've got messages traveling through our nerves quite quickly. All right, so both those control systems coordinate all the body organs that we have in our body to keep it at a stable environment. Okay, so there's one more very important part of our body that actually coordinates both the endocrine and the nervous system, and that's the hypothalamus. All right, so have a look up here. This is the cross section of a brain, meaning we've cut it in half. Okay, this is the front of our head. Our eyes are here somewhere, nose and mouth here. This is the back of our head. So right in the middle, okay, right in the middle of our brain, protected by our skull, right in the very middle is the hypothalamus. And because it's right in the middle, protected away from all the injuries, that tells us how important this gland is, okay? It actually is quite interesting because the hypothalamus can actually send out both hormones, so it's a gland, and because it's connected to your spine, it can send out nerve signals as well. The hormones that it puts out into the bloodstream can control the kidneys, the thyroid gland, muscles, bones, and sex organs. Now, the hypothalamus is a bit like this policeman here. He's in charge of controlling, coordinating all the traffic. All right, so basically we can think of the hypothalamus up here as the person in control of both the endocrine and the nervous system, making sure that they work together to coordinate all the different body organs like our lungs, our heart, our liver, our pancreas, our sex organs, all those things all working together to maintain an environment in our body with a good pH, a good temperature, a good level of glucose, so that our body can survive and keep functioning properly. Alright, so guys, that's the end of the video. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher. I hope everything's going really well, and we look forward to seeing you back at school soon.